Ma'am, in this election, one of the issues the opposition is chasing you with and is pinching the people, not just in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry, but also in Bengal, Assam and nationally, Delhi, Mumbai, everywhere, is the issue of rising fuel prices. Now, over the last few days, prices haven't gone up, presumably because the companies are under pressure that not to increase prices during an election season. But how do you view the fact that Brent crude prices are going up, OPEC is cutting production, India is one of the world's largest importers of crude oil, is feeling the pressure, and it's now reaching a point where people are having to pay, it's like petrol's hitting a century, diesel is on its way to hitting a century. How long will this go on for? How do you view your challenges? Do you have any good news or relief that you can offer to people who are listening to you here?
Rahul, you know very well, good or any news I am not expected to say during a model code of conduct. And in any case, I have spoken about this oil issue and I have very clearly said now it is a stage where we have to talk about it both center and state. And why do I say that? It's all right, very well to say, oh, center collects more than the states. Even if you assume for a minute that that is true, everything that the center collects, and you know very well, at least 42% of that goes to the states themselves. So, I may collect 100 rupees, still 42 goes to the states even from that. So, to point out saying center collects more, state collect less, eventually work has to happen at the state level, whether it is the fuel cess or anything else, or the excise that I collect under the GST, also the GST tax that I collect, everything gets a 42% devolution to the states. So, this moral thing of center collects more, so it has to cut more or it has to cut first, all that should be not a considered debate. However, the issue is something where I think all in a federal structure will have to think how best we can handle it. It is a commodity which comes completely imported. We don't have oil in this country. So, we are one of the world's biggest consumers of this imported product. We will have to have a very considered and well thought out debate, both center and state, because end of the day consumers should get some respite.
No, but do you have an active timeline on how to achieve this, Ms. Sitharaman? Because why I am pressing it is because people are feeling the pinch where it's reaching a point where it's becoming very difficult for families to manage, and therefore, while directionally you are saying you want to find relief, can you give us some kind of a roadmap about how soon this will happen? Also on the issue of taking petroleum products into the GST, how much of a concerted effort is being made to try and make it happen? Do you see it happen? How soon and when do you see fuel prices actually come down? Because people feel, is the government taxing the middle class too much? Is the government taking middle class India that's been such a big votary of the BJP and fans of the Prime Minister for granted?
No, Rahul, I want to very clearly put before you, on the middle class, the government taking it for a ride, all that is not right. Now, you are a very senior journalist. I don't want you also to repeat, oh, the middle class. It's a spectrum. What constitutes a middle class is a spectrum. So, I can keep telling you on this strand what have I done, on that strand what have I done, still you will tell me no, the middle class is not being attended to. I remember, and this one example I will give before going further. I remember in between July and December, a lot of people kept saying, many of the housing projects have been left without completion. People who had taken home loans are all sitting and paying the EMIs and also paying rent, but the possession of their flats have not come into their hands, and therefore they said, what is the government doing about it? I am happy to say that we launched a single window system through which the projects, incomplete projects, which are RERA approved projects, were all taken up, and one by one we have been giving them support. And today, I know I am talking at a time when election is on, today many of these projects have been completed and the middle class are getting possession of the flats for which some of them have been waiting for 8 years, 5 years, 4 years and so on. So, that is one of the things I want to highlight, but of course, beyond this I may not be able to say. Then they will say, oh, you are talking during model code of conduct. But again, on the issue of GST taking up petroleum issues, I will have to go to the council, and then the council will have to deliberate, and only then can we take a call.